You don't wake up knowing markets, kid. Everybody starts brand new. First you learn what moves, what waits, and what risk can really do. No racing clocks, no magic tricks, no get rich overnight. Just learning how to place a trade and sleep cozy and tight. No shortcuts, no loud claims, just rules you understand. Know what you're risking, know your why. Keep a steady hand. One trade at a time, that's how it's done. Slow is smooth and smooth is smart. You learn before you earn, my friend. That's how confidence starts. This ain't a sprint, it's a longer game. So pull up a chair and plan. Welcome to Options for Beginners with Dan.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, everybody. Try just two quick comments just from, again, I always enjoy that song every time I see it. And two things popped out to me today. One, the first slide, folks, if you notice in that song, it gives you, it's like on a boat going through Chicago, on the Chicago River going through, and you see all the buildings to the right. I'll tell you, even as a Chicagoan all my life, I never get tired of taking, when we've had an off day or something, take the family, go on a boat ride, downtown architecture tour, or it's beautiful. And having the people narrate the boat, and it's a neat tour. That is the thing. The other thing I thought is, when you look at the outfit of the little guy in the last scene, and he's got the colorful sport coat and pants, I just pictured, like, at the end of the year when you do the next year, kind of the Christmas or the end of the year special. I just pictured you in that, Troy, with the sport coat, the pants, the colors. That's what the colors are just, it's like a salad with a lot of wonderful, colorful vegetables. Anyways, I do regress. But today, folks, we're looking at, again, I believe in the area of, especially with beginners, the number one thing is not to, yes, you need to know the stuff, but again, you could know the stuff your whole life and never have any kind of practical. So knowing is different, right? You can be a doctor, in medical school, but you don't have the practical. So I believe in repetition and practice. So what we're going to do is today use Microsoft as an example. And that's neat because on the Option Omega modeling tool, on the back testing, they're bringing in some of these very liquid stocks, and you can back test Microsoft, right? As of the last week or two, Troy, which is wonderful. And if you
as of Wednesday, you can back test Microsoft. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would encourage you, if you didn't see the Option Omega show today, I would watch it. We have a long weekend, and it's kind of neat. Troy was looking at a double calendar in Microsoft. They look nice. And I think the test today was good. And I think it'd be something maybe you want to paper trade as a beginner to get used to it. But I would encourage you to go watch that. So today we're going to look at Microsoft. I'm going to look at we're looking alternatives. There's two main strategies in the wheel. Cash secured put, sell a put. That's it. It's easy, right? Just sell a put. That's the easy part. The hard part is you got to have a boatload of money, a couple suitcases worth of cash in your brokerage account. Number two, and we're going to give an alternative to that today, much, much cheaper and better yield potential. Number two, instead of your buy right, which is the second strategy in the wheel, there's only two, the buy right or covered right. What do you call it, Troy? Do you call it? A lot of names for that. Covered right, buy right, covered call.
Yeah, covered call. Yeah, I've heard them all.
Covered call. But the alternative to that would be a diagonal, long diagonal. And that's what we're going to do today. Take two examples in Microsoft. Is this the only way to do it, how I'm talking about it today? No. But what I want you to see is it's easy. And a lot of the managing if you're doing cash secured put, how you manage it, it's very easy. All we're doing is saving you a bunch of money, giving you a higher potential yield. That's it. So without further ado, not that I can spell the word ado, the only ado I ever know, besides ado, I think it's ADIEU. Do you remember there was a soccer player from Uganda, a U.S., Freddie Adu? Do you remember that name?
No, I don't. I've never been. You know how I feel about soccer.
Oh yeah, well, I don't want to get Troy going on soccer. That could be the whole show. Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump in Microsoft.
Yep.
I will set the stage as Troy is bringing that up. Microsoft, one of the darlings of the years, is down 20% in 3 months. Warning, warning. It went from $513. Now it's sitting at $400, down 20%. It looks a little wounded, a little sick. So I'm just using this as an example. Is that clear? So I'm not saying this is the best opportunity, but again, it's an opportunity. It's $400. And we're going to start with a cash secured put. Okay. So I'm going to give Troy, what I'm going to do is we're going to start, just sell the put, talk about it, model it, and then I'll give you the cash secured put alternative, right? It's all we're doing here. Many ways to do it. So exhibit number 1, we're going to just sell a put, Troy. We'll start with that. Sell the Feb 27. We're going to go about 14 days out, folks. We're just going to sell the 380 put. Microsoft's at 400. We're going to sell the 380 put, and it's going for around 285. 280 now. Well, yeah, and this is live, so the mid ask is changing. Troy, why don't you bring up a graph of just selling a put, 14 days out, and maybe model that, talk about that a little bit.
Well, I mean, you've got theta on your side. It's the classic kind of, you got theta on your side, as long as it doesn't go below your break even of 377.
Yeah.
So you got about $3, of intrinsic there that you can go into. And so 377 is your break even and you're good to go. Now, assignment risk, but
yes,
if you go below 380, so that might be your kind of actual number right there. But it's the classic, Dan. I mean, it's the classic.
And the key, folks, is just give a few more thoughts on this. The delta of the 380 put, what do you got, Troy, there about just the 380 put? What's the delta?
12, about 12.
12. So this is the Feb 27 380 put, right?
Yep. 380 put, starting with a delta of, let's see here, looking through. Oh, sorry. I'm not delta. My bad. You're a 20 delta put.
Okay.
And go your long delta after the move, about 12 delta. Yeah.
So you got okay, because you were already doing. Yeah, if you bring it back the date back, I forgot about that. Yeah, because I'm looking and go, I thought that was a 19.
No, you're right. That's my bad.
So if you could bring the date back, and you can see, folks, it's like a 1920 delta. So what does that mean in English, Spanish, and Swahili? All it means is there's only a 20. So you say, is that a decent sale from a probability? Well, one of the definitions of delta is if the delta of the short put is 20. And I use deltas to pick a short strike because you can look here. What does a delta of 20 mean? There's only 20% probability in the next 14 days till Feb 27 expires. At Feb 27 and 14 days, there's only 20% probability we'll finish under it. So you say, all right, that's a pretty good probability that I'll just get the paycheck. You say, what's the paycheck? The credit of about $3, right? Now, in reality, can anything happen? Yes. If we get an 8 to 10% correction in the market, will all of your good stocks in your portfolios, folks, tank? Yes. Except for Costco. I'm joking. Yeah. Except for our good old Costco. Costco will never, I'm joking. But some of these stocks will go down. So that's one point. But the other thing with the cash secured put is you say, okay, Dan, I'm bringing in $3. That's the good news. What's the bad news? How much capital do you have to put up here? Troy? Well,
I imagine 37,000 probably. Yeah.
Yeah, 37,000 to get $3. So you say, I like the $3. I've got 37,000 sitting in the account. We'll use it. That's okay. But again, this is a game of yield, and the yield's down. So what's an alternative to your traditional cash secured put? In this instance, I'm going to go in and buy about a 4 delta put against it, right? So you say, Dan, why a 4 delta put? I want to take about 20% of the value of the short put, 20%. And if you look at the 350, so I'm going to go buy the 350 put in this situation. I'm going to go buy the 350 put.
Same expiration?
Oh, I'm sorry, same one.
All right.
So we're just gonna take this cash secured put as Emerald, again, whatever the cook, bang, throws a little bit on it. We're gonna buy the 350 put for about 20% of the value of the short. So we'll pay about 60 cents. And it's a 4 delta. It's not gonna, if the world ends, that put will become your best friend in the house next to the dog, right? That'll become a good friend. But here it is. And Troy, why don't you talk a little bit about this? Now we have a 30 wide put credit spread. And again, it's basically this, folks. Would you rather bring in about $3 on capital of 37,000, or would you rather bring in, what's this credit spread? About 250 on capital of 5,700 or 6,000, right? Oh, I'm sorry, the max loss is 2,700. So again, would you rather bring in on the cash secured put $3 on margin of 37,000 or $250 on this 30 wide put credit spread, and you put up 2,700? It would be a no-brainer, right? And if somebody said, Dan, I get it, you're saving me from 37,000 to 2,700, and that's wonderful. But what if I still want to get assigned on the short put? Go for it. Have a ball, right? If we go under, the delta of the long put is, that only costs us 60 cents, the long put, roughly. So if we go down under the 380 put, high probability we're not touching the 350 put. And if we did, you'll be very glad you had the 350 put, right? But the point is, you can still take assignment, but all I'm saying is, here's a way to, instead of putting up 37,000, to put up 2,700. And we could talk about logistics of these, but that's an idea. Now, in reality, would I do a 30 wide spread in Microsoft? No, I'd rather come, and we can just show this, instead of 350, 380, I'd probably go half, Troy. Let's say take the long and change it from 350 to 365, just the long. All right, now we got a 15 wide spread. Our margin or max loss goes to 1,300. Let me just see there. So selling the three, so we go to 1,300. We're bringing a $173 credit. Yeah, that's something I might look at, right? But if you're fixated on this cash secured put thing, take your long delta and go to like 4 or 5, and that would take us to the 350. Any thoughts on this, Troy? So again, all we're doing, folks, and Troy, you could put it back to 365 to 350. And if you have if you're stewing over this over the weekend at all, give me your list of questions. If you have questions, well, what about this, Dan? Or this won't work. Or what about this? Or I tried this with my broker. I did this give me your questions. I'll put all the concerns together and we'll cover them next week, right? But if you have concerns, but I think, again, my question to you here's my question to you, right? This is like, no, we ask you a question, like the mob, right, Troy? No, I'm going to ask you a question, right? You. So the question is, why wouldn't you do this? To me, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. Why would you want to, for a 60-cent put in this situation, we're saving you from 37,000 capital to 2,700. So my question to you is why? For those who have done cash secured puts for 400 years, give it to me. Throw it to me. Give me your, what do you call it? Your long-winded response, and we will answer very respectfully and lovingly all the things, and we'll learn some things if we're wrong on it, but give it to us. So that's the cash secured put. Alternative, it's just a put credit spread.
Just put credit spread.
Put credit spread. Again, there's flexibility. Do you want to go narrower? Do you want to go wider? But my question, here's my question. Why? Troy, how would I'll give you a choice. How would either Danny DeVito from what was the movie he did, but many mafia movies, Danny DeVito or Randy Macho Man Savage, how would they say, like, tell me why? Why would you do what you do?
I don't have the voice for it today, but listen,
That's right.
YouTube, and that's the power of AI is you could get them to speak for you.
So, we got to get Troy on an AI to get some great, like, why are you doing what you're doing?
That's right.
And there's some good, in all joking honesty, folks. Yes, there's some reasons you may say you're doing it. And I think let's start this discussion. But I want to open up. We have this traditional wheel. And I just think the all options wheels makes so much more sense to me as an option guy. Now, as my Irish grandmother would say, stop blathering and let's get to the next one. Now we're going to move from the covered right, buy right, selling out of the money call versus your long stock to a long diagonal or poor man's covered right, or as my friend Brian Overby would say, fig leaf. And I like the fig leaf, but there's other way. Troy, what do you call it? Like we talked about this. What do you?
It depends on the day, Dan.
I was just thinking that depends on the. Yeah. All right, so let's look at this example, folks. So here's what it is. We're going to go to April, and they're very similar, these graphs. Buy one April 17, 405 call. Let's start there.
Oh, let me refresh real quick the data.
Yeah. So I'm going out, folks, 63 days and buying a call. Dan, could you buy a call as a stock substitute 100 days out? Yes. 200 days out? Yes. Like a leap, 300, 400? Yes. I'm just using this. It's a little cheaper. And I think it'll work in this time frame. Now, one thing I do think I will talk about next week, which we haven't, just to finish off on the wheel, next week we'll get into the risk management. A little more specifics from a beginner point of view. What do you do if it goes against you? What's kind of a game plan? Just to give you, take the next step, paper trade it. How do you do it? How do you pick the strikes?
Yeah.
How do you pick the vehicle? What do you do if it goes your favor? What profit do you take? What do you do if it goes against you? So I think I'll focus on that next week because I don't want to leave the wheel too quick.
What was the strike? Sorry, Dave,
yeah, buying the April 17, 405 call. So all I'm doing, folks, is just buying one strike out of the money. This would be an out of the money call diagonal, I would call it. I'm buying one strike out of the money. Microsoft's around $400, $399. I'm buying one strike out of the money, 63 days out, April 17, 405 call. It's about $17. We got that. Troy, why don't you maybe just
No, I mean, just a classic long call, Dan. So you got, time's not working against you. Your deltas are going down, assuming no movement, and your deltas are going to go up, assuming movement. So you'll be gaining deltas as the move progresses in your favor.
Yeah, it's about $17, and the delta starting out is almost 50, right? The initial delta, Troy? I think so.
Yeah, sorry, I was unmuted there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so the initial delta is 50, and someone says, Dan, you haven't gone over the Greeks yet. I think after next week, which would be risk management and the wheel alternatives, the week after, I'll start the Greeks. and that's the Chicago alternative to the Greeks. It'll be the Greeks. But
Yeah.
if you look at that and you say, well, what does that mean, Dan? That just as a preliminary into this discussion, you're buying a 50 Delta, which is a $5 out of the money in Microsoft. What does that mean for my life? How should I look at that? I don't know. I know Delta Force. I know whatever. Think in terms of when you're just learning this stock equivalent. So just like if you own 100 shares of Microsoft, it goes up $1, you make 100, goes down $1, you lose 100. If you're long 48, let's say call it 50 deltas on this slightly out of the money call, it's a little bit less, but for 50 deltas, think the same thing. For a short-term move in the underlying, if we go up $1, make 50 bucks. Goes down $1, I lose 50 bucks. So think in terms of stock equivalent. You say, why think in terms of stock equivalent? Because people are used to looking. They're easier. They can wrap their arms around stock more than they can wrap their arms around Delta. So hopefully people understand that. So now again, with perspective, a covered right in here because the stock is $400 and you got to buy the stock. Again, you're putting up 40 grand. This trade is going to be about $1,300. I'd say that's a little bit cheaper, right? Almost 30 sometimes cheaper, right, Trey? I mean, it's early in the morning on a Friday, but it's cheaper. So here's what we're going to do. Now, against that call, all I'm going to do is just simple. Sell this is an out of the money, poor man's covered right or call diagonal. Just sell one strike above it. But I'm going to go 14 days out here. I'm going to sell the Feb 27 410 calls. And I'll make a few quick comments on this, and then I'll have Troy kind of give gives a little color on this. But I call this a diagonal, right? Dan, what's the definition of diagonal? Diagonal is simply a mixed month trade. You're buying further out, selling closer in, different strikes. A calendar is a mixed month trade. You're buying further out, selling closer in, same strike. This is just different strikes. So if you look here, the logistics, I'm buying April 17, 405 call. I'm buying further out, 405, selling Feb 27, 410 call, one strike above it. So this is a call diagonal. I'm taking a bit of a bullish stance, right? If I thought, you know what, Microsoft's horrible, blah, 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 I could do a poor man's covered right to the downside, just switch it. And Troy, if we could show that real quick, that would just be, again, if I'm buying both out of the money, I could buy the 395 put. Same executions. Yeah. Buy the 395s and sell the 390s and then make them each put.
I put 63 days out on there. What was the April 7th?
No, that's fine. Yeah, we're still buying.
Yeah, that's right, actually. Yeah, that's right.
April 17. And so that's going to give you, did I do that right? 395. Yeah, 395, 300. Play with that range a second, Troy. Let me just see if we can get that a little wider, or maybe that gets it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And then maybe move it a little bit to the side, but wider. Now a little wider.
Oh, sorry. I've never been good at directions.
All right, that's good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people, right there. Yeah, thanks. So, but what you see here, folks, I'm thinking what we have here is a failure to communicate with Cool Hand Luke. Everybody remember that? But when you get these diagonals that are close together in the strikes, if I asked the viewers, Troy, and said, okay, what does this look like? What is a diagonal? A diagonal is basically combining a diagonal, but what is it close to? Like a first cousin, a calendar, right? Because if we were to go down, right? This is calls. If we were to go, this is puts. 390.
Yeah. This
okay. So if we were to go down, I could buy in my 390 put and sell. And let me just see this here: 390, 395 put. Yeah. So if both strikes, like if I bought in my short put and sold the 395 put, then I'm in a calendar, right? So you can, and that'd be a little more advanced adjustment, but we can adjust these in the calendars. But the point is, they share a lot in terms of visuals. A diagonal is close to a calendar, especially this, how we're doing it here. I'm trying to keep it cheap. You can do wider difference between the strikes, but I'm 5 wide here. So it looks like a calendar, doesn't it, Troy? I mean, it's really in that.
Oh yeah, it's in that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's try. Can we go back real quick to the calls? We'll end it with, I just want to hit this again. So on the call side, we had the 405 for the long and 410 for the short. So we were long the April 17 63s at the 405 and then short the Feb 27 410 calls. We were long 63 days out, short 14 days. So there's 59 days in between that we can do a lot of, if it goes against us, we can do a lot of additional sells that would pay off the longs. That's kind of the big picture.
Yeah.
But if you look here, folks, but that's what it was the, again, think about it, right? Next week, again, we'll get into risk management and get a little bit, okay, hey, if I want to get my feet wet and do one of these, again, you can do them in, I prefer, if you're a beginner and you really want to get some of these cheap for $200-300 to play around with the concept of a diagonal, a poor man's covered right, kind of an alternative to a buy right, boy, is it, the sectors, right? You can play all the sectors in the SPX, XLK, the technology, XLF, financials. These are cheap dollar amounts compared to like Microsoft. So great practice. And again, here's the thing, this is practice, folks. A lot of people say to me, Dan, I've been looking at this a week. I don't get it. If I could go through the phone gently, like Randy Macho Man Savage, and say, what do you mean? It's like, I don't get it in a week, right? I don't understand a strategy in a week. Why would you? You know what I mean? I mean, practice it.
Absolutely.
Paper trade it. What's wonderful, the modeling tool, I mean, I really mean it. I mean, I love it. The modeling tool is quick. You can go through the things. You can learn. Go to Options Omega, check out for the modeling tool. I mean, you have the back testing, you have the automation, but in this context, what we're talking about today, you can learn this stuff. You can save it in the model. So you can paper trade. You can put this on in the model and follow it from week to week and see, just seeing how it goes, right? You're not, let me just say this, I've been teaching for a long time. You can tell by, because I look old, but the point is this, you won't get, I guarantee you, if you're thinking, I want to understand this totally intellectually before I trade, all I'm going to say to you is good luck to you, right? Have a good time with that. It's not going to work, right? You're not, to me, you might get 40 to 50% of the understanding on something in options, but the other 50 is doing it. That's the only way it's going to get in your bloodstream, right? So, but again, what's the way to keep a beginner going longer? Trade smaller. So
yeah, that's always the answer. All right, Dan, got to run, but listen, we'll have a good weekend, everybody. Long weekend. Won't be here Monday, but we'll be back Wednesday. So we'll see you guys.